Jeremy Guthrie doesn't own the White Sox literally, but it sure seems that way. He tossed his first Major League shutout against Chicago last month. And since joining the Royals, his ERA against the Sox is so small you can hardly see it. They'll start Game 1 next on Fox Sports Kansas City.
Royals baseball comes to you from Kauffman Stadium, where the White Sox and the summer heat are waiting. The Royals begin a 5-game homestand tonight with 3 against the Sox. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark. I'm Ryan Lefevre. Last year, when Jeremy Guthrie arrived, he had an ERA over 6 after having pitched with the Colorado Rockies. Then he lost his first 3 starts with the Royals and had an ERA over 7. And then he faced the Chicago White Sox on August 8th. He pitched 8 scoreless innings. That was the beginning of his great run, 18 consecutive starts without a loss. And in 6 starts since joining the Royals, he is 3-0 against Chicago with a 0.40 ERA, and most importantly, no home runs allowed. Let's welcome in Rex Hudler. And not only, Hud, does Guthrie get the Sox again tonight, but he gets a struggling Sox team tonight.
Yeah, that helps a lot. Now, obviously, when you take the mound and you're dominant like he has been against those White Sox, and amongst the division for that matter, he's 9-1. He's going to have an extra swagger with him. He's got that confidence going with him. It's going to be exciting to see. Now, he hasn't struck out a batter in his last 3 outings, though. Hopefully he can adjust that slider, as Dave Eiland has done so well with him since he's been here with the Royals. He's really been good against the White Sox, especially May 4th, where he had his first complete game shutout in his career. Guthrie was awesome. But as you watch Guthrie execute his pitches down in the strike zone, you can see after that game, he's pointing to everybody. Everyone behind him. Thank you, thank you, thank you. They love playing behind him. Hopefully he can deal again tonight and keep them going.
And he should be able to keep the ball in the ballpark tonight, as the White Sox home runs are way down compared to last year.
here on May 6th and then won 12 of their next 19. But since then, they have won just 5 out of 22, almost the reverse of the Royals, who from that May 6th game went into that bad tailspin in May and playing much better baseball since. Joe Goldberg out here on a warm night at Kauffman Stadium right by Hector Santiago, who is warming up in the White Sox bullpen in right field. So what has been the problem for the White Sox? It's really been a little bit of everything of late. The hitting has been a problem all year long, and the pitching was good early. Jake Peavy on the disabled list, and now they have struggled since. And let's put this in perspective a little bit. The last time that the White Sox finished in last place, and that's where they're at right now, was when Robin Ventura was called up to the big leagues in 1989. The pitching, 4.55 ERA during that losing skid. The offense not scoring runs, and the Royals will try to take advantage of it. I'm Joel Goldberg. Enjoy the game. Ryan and Rex have the call next.
Missouri Lottery. Play the Powerball and Mega Million Scratchers game to win $100 grand or more. By your Kansas City Chevy dealer, the official vehicle of the Kansas City Royals. And by ATT Uverse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PICK-ATT. Rethink possible. And we have a big crowd here tonight on a Friday night. And the last time the Royals were here, they went 7-2 against Minnesota, Houston, and Detroit. Tonight's game is brought to you in high definition by Time Warner Cable, the official TV, internet, and home phone provider of the Kansas City Royals. Robin Ventura and the Chicago White Sox, while they didn't make the playoffs last year, they were certainly one of the surprise American League teams. They were in first place for 117 days, but ended up finishing in second place with 85 wins. They come in tonight at 29-41. And the biggest surprise so far, Hud, in regard to the White Sox, has been their lack of offense. They are last in the league in runs scored.
Yeah, and you know, it's good to hear that is happening to an opponent and not our Royals. As Guthrie takes the field, he always hustles out there. He's one of the first guys that goes out there to do it. But another interesting thing, too, Ryan, is all the teams in the Central, now that we're back in the division, home field advantage, everyone has a home record, winning record. And on the road, everybody in the Central has a losing record. So it's become home series as far as the Central goes. So we'll see if Guthrie, who is 9-1 in the Central since he got over here,
can go ahead and do his magic. Now you see the home runs. Okay, that right there is a byproduct of throwing strikes, but he's going to have to be careful for sure, especially against Dunn, Konerko, a couple of those guys. But look, if he can get on top of his slider and get more break, that's going to really nullify the home run ball. Defensively, we see Alex Gordon. It's love to watch this guy play. Okay, 7 outfield assists. That's right amongst the league leaders. And he's fun. He comes in, he goes back, he goes side to side, as good as anyone in the business. And his throwing arm, especially when guys hit that ball down the line, fun to watch him line up and hose those guys out. He's a fantastic baseball player.
And let's look at those standings as the Royals are in 3rd place, hoping to win this series and get back to the 500 mark. The one that still pains the Royals was Tuesday in Cleveland. The Royals had an excellent chance of taking 2 out of 3 from Cleveland and going 5-2 on the trip instead of 4-3. So they're a game and a half behind the Indians and 5.5 back of the Tigers.
Yeah, and also steady as she goes. They've got a lot of confidence going in. Tejada's getting a chance to go against the lefty, and they are 6-12 against left-handers this year. They beat the last lefty they faced. Shouldn't be an issue if they can just give Guthrie some support and would give him some confidence. Not that he really needs any.
Not when he's facing the White Sox, that's for sure.
Right. Very dominant.
Alejandro De Aza. And like many of his teammates, he begins this series as a struggling hitter. Just 5 hits in his last 30 at-bats. Coming off a career season last year where he played 133 games. 1-1.
Guthrie has the 2-seam running fastball. He'll sink it, and it runs a little bit more sometimes than it sinks. As it runs away from the lefty and into the righty. Changeups are effective. They go down and in. And his slider has been a little flatter in his last 2 outings as he hadn't recorded a strikeout. There's the changeup. But Dave Island's been working with him on staying on top of his slider. Last couple of starts, he's been throwing it on the side. And when you're throwing on the side, it flattens out. It can be hit.
Fouled away, still 1-2. So we told you about the shutout. That was May 4th, his first major league shutout. Did it with just 3 strikeouts. That was a 2-0 game, by the way. The Royals got 2 in the first inning, and that was all. And in 2 starts against the White Sox this year, he has given up 1 run in 15 innings.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, just that you can have that run against a team. But he's definitely figured them out. If he can stay down in the zone and underneath those power bats, he likes his chances. Now this one here had thigh written all over it until he was able to back off.
Not a very good swing, but he made contact, and it's still 2-2. So the Royals, sorry, Hud, 4-3 on their trip. The White Sox have lost 7 of their last 8 and 3 in a row. They were swept Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in Minnesota.
Yeah, so their Daubers are down a little bit. So really, the Royals could care less, and Ventura's not getting any sympathy cards like Ned didn't get any during his little down spiral. So look, let's go after him, keep him down. But I was going to say, Ryan, is Guthrie's in his 7th year in the big leagues, and for him to throw his only complete game shutout on May 4th, it's kind of unusual. You'd think a man of his stature and the way he pitches, he would do a lot more. I mean, he would have had at least a handful of shutouts.
And I remember when he first got to the big leagues, and even his years with the Orioles, he was described as a stuff pitcher. He threw hard, fastball mid, sometimes upper 90s, hard breaking ball. But what we've seen here in Kansas City is him become more of a complete pitcher. That's a great plate appearance for De Aza as he uses 9 pitches to open the game with a walk. Case in point, Hud, Guthrie 3 times this year has had a start with no strikeouts. And so he has made the transformation, whether it was intentional or not, of relying more on contact and using his defense more so than power earlier in his career.
That's right. He's finding that out like most pitchers do. They grow up, they get a little bit smarter. They might lose a little velocity, although we'll see Guthrie touch 94 tonight. But he's concentrating on locating and changing speeds like most of them do when they mature.
One ball, one strike on Alexei Ramirez. Alexei Ramirez against Jeremy Guthrie is 3 out of 33. That's his lowest batting average against any current major league pitcher, where he's had at least 20 at-bats. 3 out of 33. And close at first. De Aza just barely gets back.
Mike Everett, he's standing right on top of that. And De Aza's slow getting up. So Everett really had a good position. Guthrie, Shields, Irvin Santana all have very good pickoff moves, and mainly the location where they throw it over there. They put it right on Hosmer's glove on the ground. It's right there on the base. And had that one been a little bit closer to the bag, they would have gotten him.
And now he runs, and that is pulled fair past a diving Miguel Tejada. And De Aza will keep running to third. The throw goes to second, very close, and Ramirez is barely in with a double. And the White Sox have runners at second and third with nobody out.
Boy, Gordon again. We talked about it in the earlier in this game. And he comes on that ball down the left field line, and he really usually plants and throws. However, sometimes he throws off balance like he did here, taking a page out of his third base book. Look at that. He's off balance, throws off his right leg, and almost threw out Alexei.
And now Rios grounds it to Tejada. He's going to come to the plate. One away.
Okay, now that's a heads-up play by a veteran. That'll pick Guthrie up. Now he can roll a double play and get out of the inning. Okay, a lot of guys probably going to take the sure out at first inning of the game. But Tejada said, he's right in front of me, and I'm coming in. I'm just going to go ahead and get him. Perfect throw over his head. Gave Salvia plenty of time so he could block the plate. But that's a good lift for Guthrie.
And on the play, Ramirez didn't go anywhere. Strike to Adam Dunn.
So right before the pitch, Escobar, who's playing on the second base side of the bag, had to get Tejada's attention to say, hey, look, you're throwing to me on a double play ball if he hits it to you. Because they're playing him to pull. Dunn usually hits the ball on the ground to the right side.
1-1 on Adam Dunn, who is hitting 184. He has homered 19 times, which is second most in the American League, tied for second most in the American League.
Surprisingly, he only hit into 2 double plays this year.
There's another good changeup. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He has struck out 85 times already. Still 1-2.
Yeah, those 85 strikeouts. That's good for third, tied for third in the American League for those. That's kind of what he does. Although he had in mind coming into this year that he was going to try to cut down those strikeouts a little bit. But that's the kind of hitter he is. Hard to change your whole makeup, especially late in your career like this. But
2-2.
He's got a pretty good eye.
And one of the ways he was going to try and cut down all of his strikeouts was to be more aggressive and not go to the plate and be so selective, but maybe be more aggressive with pitches on the edges of the strike zone. He has always hit for power. He has always struck out, and he's always had a high number of walks. He had 105 walks last year to lead the league.
They tried to get him with a fastball up there. Maybe they can kind of come down here and see if they can get a changeup on him and try to pull it and hit into a ground ball. There's a breaking ball. Close. So he's throwing a little bit too many pitches right now for just one out.
And Dunn will walk to load the bases, so he comes back from 1 ball, 2 strikes, and Guthrie has walked 2 in the inning. Something else when talking about 21 pitches now in the first inning, which isn't a huge number yet. It's a big number, but it's a very hot day in Kansas City, and it's been a while, and it might be the hottest day that the Royals have played in this year. It won't be the hottest day they will play in eventually this summer, but this is the first time where the bodies have been hit with this type of heat. So Guthrie may have thrown 21. He might feel like he's thrown 31.
Okay, there's some 95. And that's a good spot. I mean, this is the all-time RBI leader against Kansas City.
And he's only hit 10 grand slams.
Keep her down. Hit it right at him. Roll it up and get out of the inning.
Just inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. And now head in the count 1-2.
Okay, we'll have to watch for that slider and see if it's a little bit flatter or if he has a little bit more angle to it. That's what they want, the downward angle. It's a little tougher to square up.
Started to go. And now 2-2, and now a 25 pitch inning for Guthrie.
Yeah, that there was a good slider.
Guthrie walked De Aza, and then Ramirez doubled. So the White Sox had runners at second and third with nobody out. The Royals got an out at home plate on a ground ball. And then Guthrie walked Dunn to load the bases. And now changing his arm angle, and he missed outside. 3-2.
We've seen him do that, drop his arm angle down, and we've also seen him throw some 65-mile-an-hour curveballs up there, flip them up.
Connor Gillespie waits on deck. Now Guthrie is working slowly, which normally we would criticize a slow tempo, but I think because of the heat, he's doing a good job of just staying calm.
And with him loaded.
3 walks in the inning. This one with the bases loaded, and Chicago takes a 1-0 lead.
Okay, first innings can be interesting, as we're seeing now. His command's not there, and he's having a hard time finishing guys off when he gets 2 strikes on him.
So Connor Gillespie, who's from Omaha, went to Millard North High School and then Wichita State. He's got an opportunity, big opportunity with the White Sox this year because of injuries. There's a good pitch over the inside, 0-1. Expected to be a backup infielder. And then Gordon Beckham broke his wrist in early April. So Jeff Keppinger, who is playing third, moved over to second, opening up third base for Gillespie. And he hits it high into right field, deep enough to get another run in as Francoeur brings it down. Rios is down from third, and Chicago leads 2-0.
Tell you what, he's fortunate there that Kid Gillespie didn't get a grand slam because that ball was elevated. It was right there. He just stayed underneath it. There is a strong wind. Looks like it's 15 to 20 miles an hour blowing from that right field foul pole to the left.
And now Guthrie will face his 7th hitter, Diane Viciedo. He takes very high on the 30th pitch of the inning.
Viciedo's is 1 for 12 against Guthrie.
Out in front, 1 ball, 1 strike. Another White Sox player who has spent some time on the disabled list. They've had players underachieve. They've also lost some significant players to the DL. And Viciedo was out in April with an oblique strain, a rib cage injury. 2 balls and 1 strike. Dunn is at third. Konerko is at first. And that's hit to right center field. Long run for Kane as the wind grabs it. Lorenzo runs it down on the warning track. So that saved a couple more runs. White Sox send 7 to the plate. Guthrie throws over 30 pitches, and Chicago leads 2-0. Ton barbecue sauce is right behind Ned Yost in the Royals dugout, and here's his lineup tonight against the lefty Hector Santiago. Miguel Tejada is at third. Jeff Francoeur is in right with the lefty on the mound, and switch hitting Elliott Johnson is at second base to face 25-year-old Hector Santiago.
Okay, you see the walks and strikeouts. Now in 57 1/3 innings, the strikeouts are good. The walks aren't. Okay, opponent's average 227. That's good. He's a lefty that throws hard. He's going to go 92, 95. He might see some 96s on that radar gun. And he's been really tough on righties, except for the long ball. 201 average against righties, 6 home runs. Lefties 293, 0 home runs. He's got a above average fastball, and he's got a split finger type of screwball that he throws to righties. So that's been his out pitch when he gets ahead. He cuts his fastball in on righties, and he's got occasional curveballs.
Coming out throwing fastballs tonight, 0-2 on Alex. Batting average fell down to 288 on the last road trip. There's the breaking ball, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And he's got a funky, almost 3/4 delivery. So that adds to the deception against lefties.
And that breaking ball is hit to the right side. Dunn will throw overhand, and Santiago, who's not very tall, he is listed at 6 foot. He had to go up and get it, and that's out number 1.
There's some athleticism right there out of Santiago. All right, but defending behind him, the White Sox, they have 51 errors this year. There's only the Angels and Astros have made more errors. So, hoping that they can catch the ball if you're a White Sox fan and help out Santiago. Rios has a good, strong arm. He likes to get base runners that feel giddy out there and throw them out.
Eric Hosmer fouls it away. Santiago actually made his major league debut against the Royals 2 years ago, and the first batter he faced was Eric Hosmer. And with a name like Hector Santiago, it'd be very easy to assume that he was born outside of the country, but he was born and raised in New Jersey. Went to community college in Florida. And it was kind of a long shot to make it to the big leagues. He was a 30th round pick as Hosmer hits it up against the screen in left center field. So he's at second base with one out in the first.
14th double, well struck. And Eric Hosmer, his rake at left-handers. Hosmer's got a .338 average against lefties. That's 10th in the American League. So he's really been able to keep his shoulder in, and that was evident by that gapper to the opposite field there.
So Salvador Perez been so good for the Royals with runners in scoring position. He has one out there right away. He drove in 5 runs during the road trip. 1-0.
Okay, Eric's been making some adjustments, obviously, but that front foot is important, okay? His front foot keeps him from overstriding. But look at the balance, okay? The balance is really good. And in order to hit that ball to the opposite field, you got to hit the ball when it's right over the plate. You want to pull it, you got to get it out in front of the plate. But regardless, it's the same swing.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because I think a lot of people feel like if a hitter hits the ball well to the opposite field that they're guiding it over there. But you're saying it's just a difference in the contact point.
And waiting. It's all about waiting. Let the ball travel a little bit deeper. Put the same swing on you would on pulling a ball, and it'll go to left field.
Now Perez, who is a very good, this is almost strange to say this, a very good bad ball hitter. And you think, well, why is he swinging at that pitch? We've seen him hit that pitch out of the ballpark before.
Down the right field line. Now, he fooled him there. He was looking for something else. He's got that screwball. Okay, that's what he throws. He splits his fingers. It's like a split finger changeup grip. And then he just kind of turns it over, and there it was there.
I've heard a screwball described, whether you're right-handed or left-handed, it's like turning a doorknob in the opposite direction.
Exactly. This just rolls his wrist the other way.
That'll be out of play. Still 2-2. Santiago has described himself as a Swiss Army knife, because he's pitched in just about every role you can think of as a member of the White Sox. And this year he's made 7 starts, and he's also pitched 9 times out of the bullpen. He has pitched in long relief. He has pitched in short relief. And because of injuries, he is back in the rotation.
Yeah, Jake Peavy. He's filling in for him.
Just inside, 3-2.
Okay, that's a good take right there. A lot of right-handers are going to try to hit that ball, just because it's easier to pull a ball right there. Most guys are natural pull hitters.
Pull to the left side. Hosmer will go to third as Ramirez throws out Perez. 2 outs.
Okay, Hosmer, he advanced right there because he was safe enough to make that. A little bit better than in the game in Cleveland the other night. Now watch, well, you can read this. Okay, you know you can make it to third base. However, Alexi says, I'm going to take the easy out there. He had to hold up a little bit there. Early in the game, they're not going to take a shot at him there, but he's still running aggressive.
So Billy comes up with a runner at third, 2 down. And Santiago misses outside, ball 1. 273 overall. The White Sox have really pitched him well so far. Billy is just 3 out of 23 against Chicago. But he has made those hits count, as he has 4 RBIs among his 3 hits.
Got the corner there. Philly's looking middle in.
And Dunn makes a play on a short hop. And that's the innings. The Royals get a 1-out double from Hosmer. They are scoreless in the first. Chicago leads 2-0. To benefit Royals charities and the University of Kansas Hospital's neonatal home. Rex Hudler was there. Good turnout.
Oh, it was a blast. I'm going to tell you what, it was so good to see a lot of different people there. That, you know, the auction items were wonderful, like we've been hearing about all week, but it was warm. The fans were excited. There was 600 to 700 people that came. Kauffman Stadium always shows well. They shut the lights off at the top, you know, the lights for the stadium, but they had a big board on and all the other blue light highlighted. The blue lights were beautiful around the stadium, and they shot the fireworks off. It was a great evening.
Beckham goes to right. Francoeur was shallow, but he's able to run it down right in front of the track. So Beckham had a pretty good swing at it after falling behind no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, that wind's going to help that baseball because it's whipping out there. Frenchie typically plays a little bit shallow on second baseman, so they don't doink him in front of him. But he got a good break.
And the number 9 hitter, Tyler Flowers, and that's a shot foul past Tejada, 0-1. Flowers had quite a series against the Royals. The Royals began the year in Chicago, 3 very cold games. He hit that home run off of James Shields in the 1-0 Chicago victory on opening day and finished with a very strong series. It's an opportunity he and the White Sox have been waiting on, and that is him being the everyday catcher. But here we are now, game number 71, and Flowers is hitting .223.
Well, they knew he wasn't going to hit for a lot of average, but They were hoping that he would get some power, and so far he's sprinkled some out there. But this was early. Early. I mean, it was cold in Chicago. First 2 games, 2 home runs.
Good pitch down and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I guess it would make sense that Flowers hit 2 home runs against the Royals in Chicago. After all, he has his first major league hit and his first major league home run against KC. Just missed the outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Guthrie getting a little frustrated. He snapped back at that ball when it came to him. A little visual sign of frustration. And this is what we saw in the first inning. Couldn't finish guys off just by an inch.
And gets him with a hard slider for his first strikeout. 2 down in the second.
Okay, we talked about the slider, and in order for him to have some success with strikeouts, he's got to be able to stay on top of it. And there it was. It came down. We've seen a couple of them so far, and they've looked good. He's saying, all right, there it is.
And now De Aza, who really set the tone for the White Sox in the first inning. He had a 9-pitch plate appearance, which included 3 foul balls, and he walked. Guthrie ended up walking 3 in the inning. And Chicago scored 2. 1 on a bases loaded walk to Konerko, and the other run coming on a sacrifice fly from Connor Gillespie.
Well, he's well on his way to setting his own personal high in homers. He's already tied and matched his career high with 9. So he's showing a little bit more power.
And now 3-0. Three and 1 on De Aza. You'd ask me, Hud, didn't Guthrie have a start here not that long ago where he had a long first inning? And you're right, it was June 5th against Minnesota. He had a 39 pitch first inning, and he allowed 1 run and then none over the next 5. And you got a call there from Tim Welke. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
So he has the ability to pitch his way through this opening, but 47. That's a really high number.
33 of those were in the first inning. Back to Guthrie. Flips over to Hosmer, and that's the inning. So a much shorter second inning as he gets the Sox 1-2-3. As summer begins and the weather heats up, which bat will heat up most for the Royals? Alex Gordon, Lorenzo Cain, Mike Moustakas, or Alcides Escobar? Or what we would like would be E, all of the above.
That's what I was going to say. How about all four? Be nice to see Alex get on a roll. But Lorenzo, too, he had a game he'd much rather forget. His last one in Cleveland. Before he came here, he struck out 4 times. 3 home runs, they've all come off of righties.
2-1.
He's hitting .233 against lefties.
Right to Ramirez at short. And Lorenzo is out number 1. And remember, if you vote in tonight's Unlimited Answers poll, you can enter for a chance to win 2 Crown Club tickets to a future Royals game courtesy of Sprint. Sit in the first 4 rows behind home plate. Text 432-432. A, B, C, or D to vote.
When you're down there, you're seeing the break of the pitch. You're seeing all the action, how fast the game really is. So we appreciate your participation.
And if you so desire, sitting down there, you don't even have to get up and go to the concession stands. The concession stands come to you.
Yeah, very, very nice opportunity to enjoy your off time and watch a baseball game here in Kansas City. Beautiful.
Outside to Miguel Tejada. 1 for 8 on the trip with an RBI, batting .305. And this is his first at bat against Santiago. 1-2.
Doing his job. He's hitting .342 off of lefties. Both of his homers have come off of lefties. 39-year-old's moving well and playing good. He brings energy. He brings life in there. A joy of the game. Every day. He's always lifting a teammate up. He's the perfect hire for what he does.
Back our way and just overhead. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And oftentimes we can catch him like we did before the last pitch. He is lifting himself up. Very common to see him talking to himself or motivating himself in between pitches. Right there, he's talking to home plate umpire Tim Welke. There you go, right there. He's saying something to get himself focused for this next pitch.
Saying stay off of the screwball. Good.
So Santiago's first strikeout, 2 down in the second inning.
Okay, there's that grip. Okay, he holds it like a changeup grip. You see the circle change on it, but then he just at the end there he turned it over. It's like we explained earlier. That's a good slow motion shot there, fellas. Thank you. Straight changeup, circle change. You just follow through with it. Just go straight down.
Jeff Francoeur, 2 out of 7 during the trip with a home run. Getting the start tonight against the lefty Santiago and loses his bat. Goes flying by third base coach Eddie Rodriguez, 1-1.
Oops. Trying to pull an outside pitch, sometimes that happens.
Down and in, 2-1. And a base hit into left field. So Francoeur is at first with 2 down. A reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, and it's a good night for a cold one, look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Elliott Johnson hit .400 during the road trip with a home run, 6 runs scored, and 5 RBIs. Most of that done against the Rays in the 4-game series. He takes ball 1 from Santiago. Talking to Royals manager Ned Yost before the game tonight, Ned admitting that Johnson has shown the Royals more than they thought before acquiring him in the trade. One ball, one strike.
No, he's shown me a lot. I know fans like his energy, but he's got a lot of talent. His skill set, he's got skills everywhere. He runs, hits from both sides of the plate, sitting 250 against righties and lefties, 253. He's been consistent. He'll play anywhere for you.
Ned was saying he feels comfortable putting him everywhere except behind the plate.
That's a credit to his athleticism. And he's hungry. He plays with a sense of urgency. I like the way he plays the game. He's always aggressive. He's always running hard. He's giving you the effort. Frenchie's got a couple of stolen bases so far this year. He hasn't been caught. He wants to see if Santiago will give him a move over there so we can kind of read him a little bit better.
Still 1-2 on Johnson. Two and two.
Tyler Flowers behind the plate this year has thrown out 25% of runners. 11 for 44. If we can get a little help and try to up that mark, anything over 30% is good.
Got him with a fastball up at 93 miles an hour. Santiago strikes out 2 in the inning. The White Sox lead 2-0 at the end of 2. Live consciously, eat deliciously. By Steel, available exclusively at a servicing Steel dealer. Visit steeldealers.com. And by Ford, see the new F-150 at your Midwest Ford dealer today. Now, Alexei Ramirez drops one in front of Alex Gordon out in left field, so he's 2 for 2 after reaching with a double and scoring a run in the 2-run first inning. So he already has more hits tonight than he did the last time these two teams hooked up. The Royals took 2 out of 3. And then the final game of the series when James Shields had the 8 scoreless innings, but the bullpen let the game get away. It was Ramirez who tied the game in the 9th. And then Jordan Danks hit a home run in extra innings.
Now, Alexei, he'll run. He leads the team with 15 stolen bases. He's been caught 3 times.
And Rios hits it well to left field. That is over Alex's head and up against the chain link fence. And Ramirez is around third. He will score on the double from Rios. And Chicago leads 3-0.
16th double. That leads the White Sox in that category. He waited on it. It was a little bit of a flat slider, so he didn't have the real depth to it. Just hung out over the plate, nothing Alex could do. And it kind of kicked off the wall, and that allowed Alexei to come around from first base.
And Ned Yost, just in case, already has the Royals bullpen up and moving. There's Chen just beginning to warm up out in left field. Throw to second base. Escobar was not at the bag.
Yeah, but fortunately, he was around the bag and back him.
Adam Dunn walked in the first inning. Guthrie walked 3 in the first and allowed 2 runs. And it looked like he was back on track in the second inning, getting the White Sox 3 up, 3 down. And 2 batters into the third. He's allowed his 3rd run. Off the end of the bat and into left center field. That will drop. Rios is around third. So Adam Dunn drives in his 44th. And Chicago leads 4-0 in the 3rd inning.
You know, we talked about Guthrie and his exceptional numbers against the White Sox. And sometimes, you know, it's just not an automatic. But when you're 3-0 with a 0.40 ERA against a certain team, you almost expect him to do the same things. It doesn't always happen that way.
Well, to put it into perspective, since joining the Royals and before tonight, Jeremy Guthrie had pitched 44 2/3 innings. 44 2/3 innings and had allowed 2 earned runs.
Yeah, you know, that's an amazing number. So I would say he was due to give it up.
And now tonight, 4 runs in 2 innings plus 3 batters. Konerko walked with the bases loaded in the first inning, forcing in the White Sox first run. Just the 30th RBI in the season for Konerko. Oh, 0-1. Very unordinary numbers for Paul Konerko. .252 batting average, 7 home runs this late in the season, 30 RBIs. That's hit well to center field, but right at Lorenzo Cain as if he was playing catch with him. And that is out number 1, a line out to center field. Well, the second of the Hot Dog Derby bobblehead series features the condiment mustard tomorrow against the White Sox. It's a 1:10 game. The first 10,000 fans through the gates will receive a mustard bobblehead courtesy of Hy-Vee and Farmland. Gates will open at 11:30. Royals will pitch Wade Davis. Jose Quintana will pitch for the White Sox. As Gillespie again hits it high into right field, and Francoeur into the corner. That is a fair ball. Well, Gillespie will hold with a single because Adam Dunn had to wait and see if Francoeur would make the play. And Gillespie holds as Dunn goes first to third.
Well, we talked about the wind. The wind is powerful up there that high, and it kept it in the ballpark. Okay, that's the second time now against Gillespie that Guthrie's made mistakes that were up in the zone. Oh, hey, great effort there. Francoeur almost made that play. And Dunn, that's all he could do, to sit there and wait. And that's going to be it.
Well, at the day off yesterday, the Royals have a rested bullpen, and Ned Yost figures it's not going to get any better for Guthrie. So in the third inning, he makes a Chevy call to the bullpen and brings on Bruce Chen. Settling back into their seats. You can come out and watch the official Royals watch party presented by Miller Lite next Saturday afternoon at KC Live in the Power and Light District. The game will not be broadcast by Fox Sports Kansas City. So this event will be the only place, or one of the only places in town, where you'll be able to watch the game. The party starts at 2 p.m. with entertainment and great prizes for all ages, and then take on the Royals and the Twins at 3:10. Bruce Chen throws ball 1 to Diane Viciedo. He inherits runners at first and third with 1 out. 2 runs in for the White Sox in this inning, and they have a 4-0 lead. And Viciedo hits it deep into left center, and that is into the seats for a 3-run home run.
And there it was. It was a pitch that was down. He was waiting on it. He timed it. Right on his barrel. The White Sox have scored 4 runs or less in 22 of the last 27 games. So they're trying to play catch up here.
Beckham flies to Kane for the second out. Beckham is 0 for 2. Royals pitching has been on a great run all year. They're still first in the league in ERA. And tonight it's just the second time this month that the bullpen has had to come on before the 6th inning.
Well, that's impressive what they've been doing. Last year Ned needed 3 long men. Starters had such a hard time of getting through 6. It's changed this year, and you know what? Give Guthrie a mulligan.
Guthrie did strike out 1 in his 2 1/3 innings, and that was Flowers. And that was a span of 73 batters in between strikeouts for Jeremy Guthrie. He didn't strike anybody out in his start on Saturday at Tampa Bay, and then none on June 10th against Detroit.
Well, to me, it's not he's getting tired, because we're seeing some 95, 94 with his fastball. I think it's a mechanical issue that they're going to have to work through. His command. He's getting ahead of hitters, but he couldn't finish them off. He was expending, way too many pitches per batter.
Great catch. And just to our right, a hot shot. And just casually stood up, reached over the railing. Got himself a souvenir with a 2-hand, bare hand grab. Crack bat. And Tejada moves in front of Escobar, and that's the inning. But the White Sox, after getting 2 in the first, they get 5 in the third and have an early 7-0 lead. Royals join supporters, local restaurants, and the fans at the Royals Charities Diamond of Dreams, which benefited the neonatal medical home. And this here is Debbie Pennington. She is the clinical program coordinator at the University of Kansas Hospital's neonatal home. Debbie has been caring for premature and at-risk infants since 1985 and joined the game tonight in the Buck O'Neil Legacy seat.
Way to go, Debbie. Hey, and that Diamond of Dreams last night, Ryan, it was good to see a lot of the players there, too, and their wives. Sometimes we don't get a chance to meet their families, and it was a fresh evening. And the fans were excited. They were happy to see, Alex Gordon and Salvi, and I'm going to say it was an almost unanimous turnout by everybody. I think everybody was there, even though it was not a mandatory thing, and you can't make a mandatory thing on an off day. Players Association don't allow that, but couldn't tell the players that. Most of them showed up.
One and one on Alcides Escobar, leading off the bottom of the third inning. The Royals are down 7-0. And that's fouled back off the windows of the press box, 1-2. Escobar had a nice trip after his batting average had fallen below 240 after the last homestand. He had 435 against the Rays and the Indians, and he's hit in 7 straight games. Hits that one into shallow right center field, and Rios makes the play. One down in the third. Remember, every Wednesday is Ink Student Night and Local Music Showcase. Just show your valid student ID at the box office. You'll get a $7 ticket. And make sure to get here early for drink specials and live local music and the outfield experience before the game. And the next student night is against the Braves, featuring the band Beautiful Bodies. So you might want to come out and just check that out.
Check the Bodies. Beautiful.
That's a bold name for a group, isn't it? I mean, you could imagine people will see on a program or on a marquee Beautiful Bodies.
Yeah, I think that'll bring some people out just your name.
You're either going to live up to the billing or you're not.
That's right. And if their bodies aren't so beautiful, hopefully their music is.
Alex grounded out to first in the first inning. Trying to snap out of an 0 for 13, and he launches it to right field, but he got underneath it and he hit it into a crosswind, and Rios makes the play. 2 down. Santiago blessed with a big lead. The White Sox got 2 in the first, 5 in the third. And now he and Flowers are going to talk over that last pitch to Gordon. The White Sox are lucky that did not fly out of the ballpark. Eric Hosmer bats with 2 down. He doubled in the first inning.
Yeah, let's check out his 14th double on a ball that he should have handled like that. Ball was right over the middle of the plate. Good hard swing. It was short to the ball.
Ball 1. Hosmer had a home run, 5 runs scored, and 5 RBIs during the trip. I think just about everybody before we departed for St. Petersburg would have taken 4 and 3, especially when you consider how badly the Royals have played in St. Petersburg. But when you lose the last 2, you know the saying, it really doesn't matter how you start, it's how you finish.
Right.
And most of the time that's in reference to the season, but that also applies to a road trip.
Yeah, it was a little bit disappointing, but you know, hopefully they'll clean up some of those issues they had in those 2 games, and they can try to get back in this one, but they've got to get some guys on and get a big hit.
3 up, 3 down. Royals finish in the third. Santiago and the White Sox lead 7-0. In Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery, and Jeremy Guthrie gives up 6 runs in 2 1/3 innings against a team. I mean, he just owned the Chicago White Sox before tonight. What went wrong tonight?
Well, I think this is a great example of why you play the game. You don't just look at it on paper. Coming into this with Guthrie on the hill, the White Sox had lost 7 out of 8 games, 3 in a row, so you just think this is almost an automatic win, and you're going to go out and make things happen. But unfortunately, Jeremy Guthrie now, for about 3 or 4 starts, he's had the inability to finish off hitters. We saw him get ahead of a lot of hitters, a couple 0-2 counts, and you end up, I always say, you get them 0-2 and you fight back to walk them, and then unfortunately that happened a couple of times. And when that's happening, something's not right. And Rex, you hit on it, I think, earlier. It's something mechanical. I think it's something, just an adjustment. And he made some adjustments, I think, in his last side session with Dave Island. Felt pretty good about his slider. And unfortunately, he was not able to consistently make that delivery. And at times, it just takes a while to get out of it.
De Aza grounds to Johnson. 1 down against Bruce Chen in the 4th inning.
We'll go back and take a look at a pitch that Jeremy Guthrie threw to Rios here. And you see he's on the side of the ball, and it just kind of spins around. You can see that really, really big spin. On a good slider, you want to see a real tight spin. You don't want to see that real kind of that rotation where you can almost see the seams. You want to see a little red dot. And when you see that red dot, you know that it's a good tight slider.
And now Ramirez into left center. Kane is there. 2 quick outs for Bruce Chen.
You know what, Monty, I saw a couple of them that went down. He had a couple good breaks. It almost looked like a curveball, but he had 1 or 2 that went straight down, and then the others were a little bit flat, like you were talking about earlier.
Right, we're going to see one in the 2nd inning, which is his first strikeout that he's gotten in 3 games, and that one finishes down. And when a pitch is going down, obviously you have a much better chance of getting a guy out. That still wasn't the great slider. The great slider really goes down and away from a right-handed batter. That one really just kind of bottomed out.
So how does he work on that? How is he going to try to get more depth to it?
Well, it's like a hitter, Rex. A lot of times you get in a slump, and pitchers get in slumps too, and it just takes a while to work through it. And sometimes trying easy is the best way to do it. I remember coming back from a shoulder surgery. I knew I was fine health-wise, but you try so hard, and it's hard to really let your natural delivery or motion do the work. You try to force it to happen, and you get actually opposite results of what you're looking for.
Jeremy told me not long ago that what he does in the bullpen, but he was referring to warming up before a game. That really doesn't tell him how he's going to do on the field, that those are completely separate items. And I wonder if that can also translate to when you're working on something new on the side. In the bullpen, working on something, it might feel great, but you never really know till you get out here.
That's right. He felt great after a side session in Cleveland the other day. You see the line out to Escobar to end the inning, but he felt great after that side session. Unfortunately, unable to carry it in the game for today.
On the flip side, Hector Santiago has pitched very well for Chicago. We'll talk to Monty about that when we return. runs to the White Sox in the first 3 innings. On the other side, it's only 3 innings to begin with, but Hector Santiago, Monty, no runs, 2 hits.
Yeah, he's looked really sharp, and he's got a pitch that a lot of guys don't see, and it's a screwball, and it's a pitch that really gets exactly the opposite action as a slider will get for a left-hander. A left-hander throws a slider, it's going to go down and in to a right-handed batter. His scroogey will go down and away to the right-handed batter.
And he gets an out on 1 pitch as Perez grounds out to short for a second time tonight.
Just kind of see how he rolls that thing over and really accentuates the right side of the ball, and he kind of turns it into a reverse spin. Again, it's opposite of a slider that he would throw down and in to that right-handed batter.
I've heard it described very well, a screwball. I mean, if you're going to open the door, a right-hander is going to open it clockwise. A lefty is going to open a door counterclockwise, but a screwball is like doing the reverse.
Right. You're actually going to turn your wrist. You're going to have it on the outside, and you're going to turn your wrist this way so that it comes out sideways of the ball, and it creates a spin where it's exactly the opposite, almost like a sideways spin, and it's going to fade down and away hard to the right-handed batter. And they just don't see that pitch a lot. They're used to seeing pitches from a lefty spinning this way and coming into them, but when you throw the screwball, it comes off the other side, and it spins exactly the opposite.
Now, throwing a baseball overhand is extremely unnatural, even if you're doing it by the so-called book. I would think you have to have great mechanics, or you really have to limit how many times you throw a pitch like that because of the strain it can put on the arm.
And that's one thing I'm very surprised with Santiago. He's never been injured. He's a guy that's been healthy through his entire career, never been on the disabled list. And when you do that unnatural action, you think you have a much better chance of having that arm injury, especially in the elbow, because you're kind of turning that over. And you always heard the little league elbow. It's overuse with the elbow, and you really put a lot of stress on the elbow when you throw a screwball.
Now
3-2 on Billy.
We talked about Santiago's average, 201 against righties, but 6 home runs. And the lefties have hit higher, 293, but 0 home runs. That's kind of hard to explain.
Well, he's got that hard slider that goes away from the left-handed batter, which is much more difficult pitch to pull for the home run. But the righty, I would say the reason for the high home runs against the righties, he leaves that screwball in the middle part of the plate, and it doesn't finish off the plate.
And the way that pitch breaks, I'm guessing he doesn't use that screwball to lefties very often. Because it's coming right into a lefty.
And it's really more of a lateral pitch. It doesn't have quite the the down and away action that that a slider would have, for example. But that pitch, again, it was a lateral movement. But I'm sure Billy hasn't seen that screwball many times in his career.
Good point, because hitters like to say, well, what's his slider like? What's his curveballs like? Oh, it's like so-and-so's who he just faced in Cleveland, or it's like, the guy with the Twins, very similar to that one. Well, when you're talking about a screwball with Santiago, it's like, for many guys, something they've never seen before.
Right, and the screwball is something normally you see from left-handers. We saw the great Fernando Valenzuela throw it, so he was a lefty that threw the screwball a lot.
He has retired the last 7 Royals, 7-0 Chicago.
game. Joel Goldberg up in the suites with Royals draft pick Sean Manaea, who signed today, 34th overall selection out of Indiana State. And I know you've been having a great time out here today. Big left-handed pitcher is Sean, and how much fun has this day been for you, from signing to meeting all these guys?
It's just been an unreal experience, just like seeing all these guys on TV, and then finally getting to meet them. Hopefully, future teammates, and I'll be like great friends with them. But just from signing the contract and just having my family out here and just enjoying the game, this has been an unreal experience, and I'm loving every second of it. So
I know when you were on Hy-Vee Royals Live, the pregame show with us, your mom had the iPad out. She was videotaping everything. What's it been like to watch them?
She still has it on. She's doing it right now. But I just love watching the reaction. I know my mom's she can't get enough of this, and she's loving every second. Same with my dad. They're all snapping photos and putting it on Facebook and showing all our friends and family what's going on here. But I don't know, they're just having a good time with this, same as me. And yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to watching you pitch when that happens. I know you've got some surgery that you need to have first, and a lot of folks in baseball felt like if not for the hip injury, which maybe affected some numbers senior year, that you would have been a top 5 pick. And there we see the strikeout from Bruce Chen, a little bit of a different kind of lefty than you, because he doesn't throw 95, 96, 97. But what's the outlook on that injury and then your time frame?
Alex is looking really good. The same doctor did the same surgery on Alex Gordon, so he's doing really well, and I feel like I'm going to be come back 100% healthy, and everything will be all right. So everything's looking positive, and I'm just looking to get back healthy and be ready to go by spring training.
I think one of the most fun stories you told us in the pregame show was that, yeah, you grew up around the Cubs and the White Sox in Northwest Indiana, but you were a Phillies fan, and so we're trying to think, okay, what's the connection with the Phillies? And it actually had nothing to do with baseball. This is a unique story. Tell us.
Just growing up around Chicago, everybody's Cubs or White Sox fan, but for some reason, me and my friends, every day we skateboarded, and I was going through a skateboarding phase for like a couple of years, and every time I look up like skating videos or something on YouTube, I saw this guy named Kerry Getz, and he was from Philadelphia, so automatically I just saw everything that I wanted to like be a fan of, like baseball and football and all that, just Philadelphia sports fan. So that's how I became a Phillies fan.
Of course, now you're a Kansas City Royal. Lorenzo Cain just missing on that, so Paul Konerko reaches safely, and Connor Gillespie will come up, a guy that played baseball in your conference before your time, went to Wichita State. But how about being in the Missouri Valley Conference, because that's a conference that a lot of people around here are very familiar with. Tell me about your college career.
It was a lot of fun. I had a great experience at Indiana State, and I'm very glad that I went there. It's a great school, and great coaches, great teammates. I couldn't ask for anything more. I'm just happy I went there, and the Missouri Valley Conference it's on the rise. It's not like it's not like the SEC or like Pac-12 or anything, but it's definitely on the rise, and I know like great prospects coming out of there every year. So it's definitely on the rise, and it's definitely becoming a better conference as the years go by.
Well, that right there, a pop-up to Alcides Escobar. And before we wrap up, because we got 2 outs here now, I was asking you after we got off camera in the interview earlier today about maybe one thing you might spend and splurge on, because you just came into a lot of money with the signing bonus, and you had it's not a fancy car or a house or anything like that. Tell our viewers what you said.
My dad's Samoan, so he's always growing up, he's always told me stories about what it's like out there. So I definitely want to take my family out there and go see what that's all about, see like what Samoan people are about, get to actually know some more Samoan people than obviously my dad. I just feel like it'd be a great experience for my brother and myself who've never been there before, and it's definitely something I want to do.
Well, we appreciate visiting with you twice today. Really enjoyed it. Congratulations to you and your family. The blue tie looks good.
Thank you.
And we will really look forward to watching your progress, and good luck with the surgery.
Thank you.
All right, guys, Sean Manaea, a very nice, well-spoken guy, and 6'5", big lefty, throws 95, 96, 97. You don't find those lefties every day, do you?
Sure don't. And there's the family soaking in every moment of this. There will only be one day like this in his professional career.
I'm sure he will never forget this, nor will his family. That's just something very special. And he told us a story about getting drafted and his agent letting him know that he had been drafted, and not to overlook the fact that he's going to come into a lot of money very quickly, like Joel mentioned.
Oh, that's great that they bring him out here. And the fact that he's got his parents there, you know, this is a memory they'll never forget. It's wonderful that they could make it out here.
Had a smile on his face the whole time he's talking from Joel that stretched from the right field foul pole to the left field foul pole. I was talking to Ned Yost and I were talking about that in our radio interview today, and he said it doesn't really hit him until they get on that first bus ride. I mean, they've been dreaming about this, he said, most players, because you really only meet, he says, you know, the major league side, you only really meet the first, second round picks because all the other guys are signed with much less fanfare, but they've got big smiles on their faces and they're ready to go. They've been dreaming about this. They're hanging around in a big league ballpark. Sean got a big ovation before the game today in front of the crowd, and next thing you know, you're on a 12-hour bus ride, and then you know you're a professional.
It has started.
Reality sets in.
2 straight scoreless innings for Bruce Chen. The Royals are down 7-0.
Hey, Billy, hit it a ton. Hit it a ton, Billy! It's all about the sauce. It's delicious. Let's go, Billy. It's all about the sauce. Let's go, Royals. Let's go, Royals. Let's go, Royals. Let's go, Royals.
That's outstanding.
And Billy is still a big kid in many ways, so that was great for him to. Earlier today, he and other Royals signing autographs. Part of his fundraising efforts with his wife Katie for the Hit It a Ton program, which raises money and collects food for the less fortunate for the Bishop Sullivan Center.
It's fantastic. Hopefully they can continue to hit it a ton.
Tejada in the shallow right where Rios will make the play. Miguel Tejada is 0 for 2 against Hector Santiago. You know, with Tejada flying out there, we'll continue with Jeff Montgomery up here in the booth. The question has come up because he's done a nice job for the Royals. How often can he play? And I don't think the Royals feel like at this stage of his career he's an everyday player, but how far can they stretch him? As you got older, how did your preseason, your pre-game preparation change?
Well, it never changed really. Once I learned what made me tick, I had to stick with that program. And when I would get away from that program, I was not effective. Now, the recovery is more difficult, and maybe it takes longer to get ready during spring training camp to be season ready. But I think once you learn your routine, it's very important to stay with that routine because it's worked for you for years and years and years. And in fact, I remember my last year with the Royals, I got a little bit out of my routine in spring training because we now had strength and conditioning coaches and all these other ways of training, and I got away from it. I ended up with the first injury really of my career. So I think it's important to stick with your routine. And like a Miguel Tejada, he's a guy that knows what makes him go. I think one thing interesting about him is he really made an effort to get back in shape and get back into baseball to help his native land in the World Baseball Classic. So it lands him a big league job.
But how about you? How did things change for you conditioning as you got older?
Well, being a position player was a lot different. You know, it took longer. I had to show up to the ballpark 2 hours earlier than the rest of the guys, and I had to stay an hour longer after the games. It was taxing because to be able to run with a 22-year-old, 23-year-old young men that come into the game, it was challenging. And like Monty said, the recovery was the hardest part. But typically, I knew what it took to get me into shape, like Monty's saying. So I stayed with my own program. And when you do that, you stay with what's familiar with you. You can get yourself ready.
Almost a collision in shallow right field as Beckham makes a play. That's a 7-pitch fifth inning for Santiago. He's retired the last 10 Royals and 14 of the last 15. For the best deals on new Ford cars and trucks, visit thoroughbredford.com. Hot, sunny day in Kansas City into the low 90s. The next installment of T-Shirt Tuesday is coming up this Tuesday. The Braves will be in town for a quick 2-game series, and the first 10,000 fans receive a Big Game James T-shirt, courtesy of James B. Nutter. It's a 7-10 game with Atlanta. The gates will open at 5:30. Royals.com/T-Shirt Tuesday or 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. One and one from Bruce Chen to Gordon Beckham. Bruce gave up a 3-run home run to the first batter that he faced in the third inning. It has settled down since, and now Beckham lines it to left, and that'll sail over Alex's head, and that's up against the chain link. And Gordon Beckham has his first hit. He is 1 for 3.
Just his 5th double. He missed some time. He had a hamate bone issue and missed some time, but there's a ball down and in that some righties will go for. And when you barrel those, you're not going to catch them. Gordon got a good jump, but no chance.
And here's Tyler Flowers, White Sox catcher, is 0 for 2. Got jammed. Long run out for Johnson and an easier play for Francoeur. So Flowers is 0 for 3, and there's one down in the 6th. Last inning, Joel was visiting with Sean Manaea, the Royals' second pick this year in the draft, to get his fastball into the mid-90s. Bruce Chen's fastest pitch tonight has been 87 so far. And remember, you can get downloads up to 50 megabits per second with Time Warner Cable's Ultimate Internet. Sean Manaea up there, visiting with his father in the level just above us.
Wants to take his family to Samoa. That's pretty cool. First thing I wanted was a car. I was only 17. And driving the family hand-me-down car wasn't exactly the greatest experience.
So what year were you drafted? 83?
1978.
78. And what did a first-round pick get in 1978 for a bonus?
I had got $125,000, and that was the top bonus that George Steinbrenner had given a player at that particular time. So I had a really good agent, though, even though she was my mother, and that's not coming back.
That's the second home run allowed by Bruce Chen, and the Chicago White Sox lead 9-0 in the 6th inning.
Yeah, that was a no-doubter. Fastball in the inner half.
Ball 1 to Alexei Ramirez. So that is a career high 10 home runs now for Alejandro De Aza. And this is just game number 71 on the year.
Yeah, no, he's on his way. He could have a big home run year.
So how long did Mom haggle with George Steinbrenner?
Well, actually, he sent his vice president, Al Rosen, to my house. And Mom sent me out of the house. She didn't want me to jump at their first offer. And in order to keep my eligibility at Notre Dame, and I had a full-ride football scholarship, I couldn't have an agent. So my mom, she told the scouts all along, don't sign my son. He's going to go to college.
Did she say it like that?
She said it worse now.
Okay.
Don't sign him. You'll waste your pick. I kept hearing her tell.
Now, did she mean that, or was that a negotiation ploy before the draft?
No, she meant that all the way.
Hosmer into foul ground, and Ramirez is the second out. So her thinking was, hey, I told you not to do it.
Yeah,
but if you really want him.
Yeah, it's going to cost you. You're going to have to buy him out of that. I think the first offer was 80-something thousand. She says, I don't even want to hear it until it's over 100,000. And then she got him up to 125 plus an education. And when I came back 30 minutes later, it's all it took. Front door was locked. I couldn't get into my house. And she opens the door and sticks her hands out and says, congratulations, son, you're a Yankee. And I went, wow, Mom, you know, you were all about the education. What happened? She goes, well, I got you some money. I said, great. When do I get it?
Alex Rios, and that stays in the ballpark. Almost knocks over the left field wall, and that's his second double of the game. Now, is that money still available if you want to go to Notre Dame? Do the Yankees still owe you a college education?
No, because you had to get it within the first 5 years. In the first 5 years, I was at their instructional league for 3 months. So I really didn't.
So they said, "Oh, sure, we'll pay for his education."
Didn't read the fine line. You know, the fine print was you got to get it in the first 4 or 5 years. So I exchanged what would have been a nice Notre Dame degree, I would hope, maybe some pro football after that. I don't know. Got a worldly degree in baseball. Hit speed. That's the velocity coming off the bat.
Royals playing Dunn perfectly as Escobar was behind the bag, but his throw is offline and pulls Hosmer off the bag.
Okay, that's Escobar's 9th error. Okay, he's right there. Good thing it didn't hit Bruce. Boy, that was just missed him. I'm happy that didn't happen. But the throw pulled Eric off the base. Bruce thought he was out of the inning.
So instead, it's 1st and 3rd, 2 down to Paul Konerko. If we look at tonight's Toyota League leaders, most home runs by active players. And there's Konerko and Dunn. Konerko at 429, Dunn at 425. Alex Rodriguez way out in front. Question is, when will he come back?
Or if at all, really. I mean, they're saying after the All-Star break, same thing with Derek Jeter. But when you're up there in age like that and you miss that much time, you never know.
And there are other issues that he may face. Hosmer plays the short hop. He'll go to the bag, and that's the inning. 2 in the first, 5 in the third, 2 more in the 6th, and Chicago leads 9-0.
Home against Boston, and yes, Miguel Cabrera and Prince Fielder are the big boys, but Johnny Peralta is having an incredible year, and that was a walk-off last night for Detroit. Boston having closing problems, so though are the Tigers, and we'll keep an eye on that, guys.
All right, thank you, Joel. As Alcides Escobar leads off the bottom of the 6th, the Royals have 2 hits, no runs against Hector Santiago. It's our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Jeremy Muller from Overland Park. The Royals hit a home run in this inning. Jeremy wins $700. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Jeremy wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. 1-2 on Escobar. Now David Lowe has moved to the on-deck circle. He will hit for Alex Gordon.
I think this is more of a give Gordon some time off than anything else.
Pulled to third, and Gillespie throws out Escobar. Alcides is 0 for 2. That's 11 in a row retired by Santiago. All right, time for tonight's AT&T trivia question. Who are the 3 players that hit over 500 career home runs and never lead a league in a single season?
That's pretty interesting.
What was there was one note about Hank Aaron that when he hit 755 home runs that he never had a 50 home run season. I mean, it was spread out over a million years, but he never had one of those, knock your eyes out single season home run years.
Yeah, that's amazing. You hit over 500 home runs, you're going to lead the league one of those years for sure. But there's been 3. How about Eddie Murray?
Okay. Sammy Sosa had 2 huge years, but Mark McGwire hit more than he did those 2.
How about Mickey Mantle? But so far tonight, Ryan, the Royals have not been able to figure out Santiago. He's been effectively wild. He came into this game with 30 walks and 57 in the 3rd innings. It's a little bit of a high number. But you call a guy like that effectively wild, and now they just haven't been able to sniff it.
David Lowe works a full count. Well, and it's not just tonight. If you add tonight to his past against the Royals, he has thrown 16 2/3 innings and has not allowed a single run. So this extends beyond tonight.
Well, you can see he's got deception.
That's one of the hardest hit balls all night. David Lowe hits it right to Dunn for the 2nd out. Hank Aaron, 755 career home runs. He did lead the league on 4 different occasions.
Okay.
Never hit more than 47 in 1 year. But boy, there's a whole lot of 30s and 40s between 1954 and 1976.
Ooh, man.
23 major league seasons.
Hank Aaron.
Hosmer has doubled and grounded out to short. 1 ball, 1 strike. Both times really hanging in there with his front shoulder against Santiago and hitting it hard to the left side. This time he pulls it deep into right center field. Gone for a home run.
Eric Hosmer brings the house to their feet. And Jeremy Mueller, congratulations. What are you going to do with 700,000 you just won?
No, 700.
Oh, 1,000, not 1,000. Ooh, man, was that nice. There's a fastball on the inner half. Actually, it was an off-speed pitch. It was 83, but man, that was really good balance and good takeaway, and he caught that just perfectly. $700. Big difference.
Jeremy, for a second, thought he won 700 grand.
Yeah, my bad.
Sorry about that, Jeremy.
Too many zeros up
Take
there.
3 zeros off of that.
All right.
But we will take this swing from Eric Hosmer.
Look at that. That's got that funky rotation. That was that changeup that floated up there. Made it pay. Nice.
It's a little known fact about sports on television. If there is a full moon, you are obligated by law to show at least one picture of it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Why not? You can show as many as you'd like. Too bad the baseball's not looking that big for the Royals, but it is for the White Sox. They've got 10 hits and 9 runs.
So Alex Gordon out, replaced by David Lowe. Now Salvador Perez is out, replaced by George Kataris. And you brought up an interesting point in that maybe Alex comes out, Sal comes out. It's a 9-1 game in the 7th inning, and there's a day game tomorrow.
That's right. So, Ned's got to take care of his guys. Give him a breather when you can. We haven't seen too many stinkers like this one. But this happens in baseball.
How about 66 miles an hour, that last pitch from Bruce Chen. Now Diane Viciedo to the plate. He's our AT&T Uverse Rewind.
Yep. He got that one for sure.
That was his 5th home run. He had a big breakout season last year with 25 home runs for the White Sox. The White Sox, in winning 85 games a year ago, they hit 211 home runs. That was 3rd most in the major leagues. And even with the 2 home runs tonight, they have hit 70 so far. So they were on pace to hit 50, as in 50, 50 fewer home runs this year than last year.
Well, obviously, that'll make a difference in your offense when you're built around power. Jeff Manto, their hitting coach, this is his 2nd year, to the left of Dunn.
1-2 on Viciedo.
And they play in a launching pad, too. U.S. Cellular Field, that ball runs out of there.
Sharply hit on one hop to Tejada. 2 down in the 7th inning. Oh, we told you earlier, don't forget, watch the Royals take on the Minnesota Twins at a watch party this Saturday at KC Live in the Power and Light District. We'll be giving away a dugout suite to a future game. And admittance is free. So we'll see you this Saturday at 2 p.m. for the Royals watch party at KC Live, a game that will not be broadcast on Fox Sports Kansas City. That is a week from tomorrow when the Royals are in Minnesota. One and two on Gordon Beckham. Still 1-2. Hey, nice grab. Fan brought his glove. Made it look easy. Fastball at 88. So Bruce Chen reaching back for a little extra fire. Gets the White Sox in order in the 7th with 2 strikeouts.
Way to go, Bruce.
Light.
Okay, Eric Hosmer so far has been the hitting star for the Royals, and it's hands down. I mean, he doubled to the opposite field, and then he went deep. I mean, way deep for his 3rd home run of the year.
Good to see him pull the ball the way that he did, getting those arms extended. It was an off-speed pitch, but still a really good path to the ball in pulling the ball.
Yeah, and it sure was. And it's on the inner half. And him and George have been working on clearing those hips so he can get his hands through.
Jordan Danks takes over for Alex Rios in right field. (3-0) from Santiago to Billy Butler, and Santiago, who had trouble with walks before tonight, has not walked anybody so far.
Yeah, you know, when Monty was up here, he made a good point. He talked about, hey, you know, the numbers and the stats, we all read them before games start, but until the game's executed, you don't know what's going to happen at all in baseball. I mean, Guthrie had owned the White Sox, so you would expect that he would go out there and just mow them down, but it just doesn't happen in this game. And Santiago, with all those walks, I was thinking, you know, we've had some good plate discipline in that past Cleveland series, and just didn't work.
In our Sprint Unlimited Answers poll for tonight, 53% think that Alex will warm up with the weather.
Sure hope so.
Followed by Mike Moustakas with 24%. 15% for Lorenzo Cain, who takes strike 1. By the way, as the Royals try to improve their offense by being more selective at the plate, drawing more walks when not being pitched to aggressively, Jeffrey Flanagan, our columnist at Fox Sports Kansas City, has a story about just that. The Royals have drawn the 2nd fewest walks of any offense in the American League, second to the Chicago White Sox, which is somewhat of a surprise because you have a lot of veteran hitters on the White Sox roster. 1-2 on Cain.
Veterans know how to handle situations. They've already handled failure, so they got a pretty good idea about the pitchers that they're facing, and they know their ability. Young guys, it's hard when you come up here and you don't really know what kind of hitter you are. Like take Lorenzo Cain, for example. You would expect that maybe Lorenzo Cain, with what we've seen last year, he was injured a lot, but this year that he can hit 15 home runs, maybe 20, with it and play a solid center field. He's got the great legs. He's got good hands. He's got a very strong upper body.
No double play as Dunn barely got back to the bag, and then he dropped the throw from Beckham, 1 down.
Gordon just threw a dart to Dunn. He's saying, hey, thanks a lot. Now, he's running, trying to catch the ball and touch first base at the same time. That's asking a lot. He's saying, hey, look, my bad. I threw a little sinker to you.
And now Tejada, who is struck out and fly to right. Now, I've always felt that walks can be a very misleading statistic because the hitters that walk the most in the major leagues are good hitters. They swing the bat well. They don't go to the plate and say, you know what, I think I'm going to go up and walk. Tejada hits a slow roller to third, and the White Sox turn the double play to end the inning. We'll continue that thought as we go to the 8th. It's been a long night for the Royals as they trail 9-1 to the White Sox.
To Cleveland, nice pitching performance from Scott Kazmir as they win against Minnesota. Chris Davis in a losing effort, home run number 27 and 3 more RBIs for him. Other action around the American League. Boston all over Detroit as the Tigers' Doug Fister roughed up in that one. Pittsburgh and LA later tonight. Oakland and Seattle also coming up in just a bit. Our Mazda game break takes us to Progressive Field. We saw Jason Kipnis, the good and the bad, the other night. And in that series, and here's the good as the Indians win again. So 3 straight for them as they knock off Minnesota, right?
All right, Joel, thank you. And several changes for the Royals as we go to the 8th inning. Elliot Johnson moves from second base to short. So Alcides Escobar is done for the night. Chris Getz will replace Johnson at second. And now on the mound for the Royals is J.C. Gutierrez as Bruce Chen chips in with 4 2/3 innings out of the bullpen.
Yep, he worked it. Gave up some more runs, though, that he's not used to doing. A couple homers, too. But he gave Ned some innings. That's what he needed.
White Sox will send up Tyler Flowers, Alejandro De Aza, and Alexei Ramirez. Flowers 0 for 3 tonight against Guthrie and Chen. Oh and 1. We were talking about walks before the inning came to an end, and again we direct you to FoxSportsKansasCity.com. Jeffrey Flanagan posting a column on the Royals trying to improve their on-base percentage by way of walks, working longer counts. No balls, 2 strikes. And I think walks are an important statistic. I think on-base percentage is a very important statistic.
I agree.
So by no means am I diminishing those two. At the same time, though, the guys who walk a lot are good hitters. I mean, they're known for what they do with the bat.
That's right.
And their walks are a byproduct of pitchers pitching them very carefully. They have good knowledge of the strike zone. They are proven, productive major league hitters. So to tell a young player you need to walk more at the major league level, you need to take more pitches, that's not automatically going to make them walk more. That's not going to improve their on-base percentage as Johnson throws out Tyler Flowers. I mean, sure, David Lowe, and he's walked once since joining the Royals, David Lowe could decide, you know what, I need to take more pitches. Well, at this stage of his career, if he goes to the plate just deciding he's going to take more pitches, he's going to find himself down in the count 0-2 and 1-2 all the time.
Right, and that was what George was saying. You brought up Lowe. He was talking about Lowe. He says, hey, look, when you come in here, is it easier to hit when you're ahead in the count or behind? He said, well, obviously ahead. And he goes, well, then why are you taking the first 2 pitches down the middle? Now you got to hit his breaking ball. You got to hit all of his stuff that you don't want to hit. But I believe they're going to get into that. Take Salvador Perez, for instance. Salvi has just 6 walks this year and 215 plate appearances. Okay? He's a hacker. He's a swinger. Some young guys come up swinging their way here. That's how he got here. He hits. He's not a guy who's a very selective guy. So, but he has looked more selective recently. He's not up there just flailing and bailing. But it's hard to teach a guy to walk when you had never done that before. Mm-hmm.
Ramirez takes a strike. You think when Miguel Cabrera, who leads the league in on-base percentage by 37 points, you think Miguel Cabrera ever goes to the plate and thinks either A, I want to walk, or B, I'm just going to go up here and look at some pitches?
No.
No, he goes up there just like every other hitter that has a great on-base percentage. I'm looking for a pitch that I can mash. And because they have a history, they're going to get very few hittable pitches, so they don't swing until they get a pitch that they like. Right. Well, you have to earn that because of your ability to swing the bat.
Right. Barry Bonds, good example of that. He wouldn't swing unless the ball was right down the middle. He wouldn't swing at it. He was programmed. His eye was keen, but he had been so productive over the years and so good at what he did, he only looked in one spot.
JC Gutierrez comes out of the bullpen and gets the White Sox 1-2-3. 9-1 Chicago as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Be a question because he was all over it.
Well, I was just guessing there's only 25 guys in the 500 home run club. Okay.
Frank, only 3 of them never led their league in home runs in a single season.
Now, if somebody in the house, for sure, Frank Thomas. Okay, that's the way out. We kind of have a pattern for out. Okay, Frank Thomas, Palmeiro, and Sheffield. It's amazing you hit that many home runs and you never led the league. But that's a lot of consistency. Home runs, man.
That's 3 guys who hit in an era when the vitamins were rampant, if you know what I'm talking about. Sure. And all 3 of those guys had long careers where those 500 home runs were spread out over several seasons.
Right.
Two and two on Jeff Francoeur, who has one of the 3 hits. Hosmer doubled in the first, Francoeur singled in the second, and then Hosmer homered in the 6th, and that's it against Hector Santiago. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And I'll tell you, Robin Ventura, second-year manager of the White Sox, he's got to be thrilled with what Hector Santiago is doing and with his offense that's been dormant for weeks. Saving that bullpen, just his 97 pitches. 98th pitch there.
5 strikeouts.
He'll be a hero to the bullpen and his manager. And he might earn himself a regular spot if he keeps pitching like this. He's filling in for Jake Peavy.
And when he has been a starter, and he's made 11 major league starts before tonight, he has never allowed more than 3 earned runs. He's still throwing 94 miles an hour in the 8th inning. Ball 1-2, Elliott Johnson.
He's deceptive. He really is. That sidearm 3/4 delivery is just, they can't figure him out. And that screwball to righties has been his out pitch.
Danks makes the play just inside the right field line. 2 down in the 8th. Don't forget the MLB.com at-bat app is the only source for live baseball everywhere you go. At-bat delivers live audio, pitch tracking, stats, breaking news, and video highlights. And you can download At-Bat now on your app store or by texting At-Bat to 31826. Chris Getz batting for the first time. Alcides Escobar was 0 for 2.
Tell you what, Ned getting some of his regular guys a few innings off, that really makes a difference over the course of a long season. Gets them off their feet for, a considerable amount of time if they're normally out there. And especially after a night game and a day game tomorrow, they're going to need some energy. So a lot of managers will do that in a blowout game.
Three balls, two strikes.
Guys that don't get a chance to play every day, like George Kataris, he's been in and out of there. Sometimes you're like, gosh, maybe we'll have a blowout one way or another and I'll get a chance to play.
Piazza in center field makes the play. 8 strong innings for Santiago. 106 pitches. He's allowed just 1 run on 3 hits. Vote for the Royals Player of the Month, sponsored by Majestic and Rally House. Vote at Rally House stores and get a chance to go on field and meet the winning players. Eric Hosmer's swing seems to look better every night, and tonight he has a double to the opposite field and a home run into the water in right center field. And now Kelvin Herrera on the mound. Had a tough time in the Cleveland series. Herrera in the final 2 games pitched a combined an inning and a third and gave up 4 runs. And he'll get Jordan Danks, Adam Dunn, and Paul Konerko. Addison Reed warming up in the White Sox bullpen. The White Sox have lost 7 of their last 8, so their closer hasn't gotten a lot of work. So he might come on just to keep the arm sharp, even with a big lead in the bottom of the 9th.
Yep, that's what he's out there for. Get some work in. Okay, Jordan Danks. He's a guy that was hoping that he could get in there. He's got 25 at-bats this year. Extra player. Really hard for timing when you don't get a chance to play regularly. So your numbers might show it. So Ryan, do you think he's up there looking for a walk?
No, I don't. And he probably won't get a lot of walks because he's a young, unproven player. So teams, for the most part, they're going to come right after him. They're going to make him swing the bat. And he strikes out. Great changeup from Herrera, so a good start for him here in the 9th inning.
Yeah, and that's a tough chance when you're facing a guy that throws 100 and has an 89-mile-an-hour changeup. And, you know, just because Herrera hasn't had the kind of success that he had last year doesn't mean that you give up on a guy. Okay, he had a couple of rough outings, you know, on that road trip. But look at that breaking ball there. He's got electric stuff. It's a good change up there. It rolled right off his finger. He's got a little slider. At times they want him to bring in a little bit more.
Two and 0. 100 miles an hour on that last pitch. So just to sum up our conversation on the walks, I love guys who walk. I love guys who get on base when they don't have an opportunity to swing the bat. But I just don't believe that a hitter is ever going to develop into a good productive hitter if their mindset is to go to the plate and say, I'm going to see some pitches. I think more accurately, the wording should be, a good hitter should go to the plate saying to themselves, I'm only going to swing at good pitches. And I think the Royals' adjustment right now is not to go up there and think, let's walk more, but let's swing at better quality pitches and lay off more pitches that are out of the strike zone. Do you agree?
I do agree. And that's what you got to focus on. You can't go up there. It takes the aggressiveness away from you. If you're an aggressive hitter, it's going to take you out of your game, and you're going to find yourself on the pine for 9.
This is Casper Wells. He's going to bat for Konerko. Konerko was 1 for 3 with an RBI, giving him 143 RBIs in his career against the Royals. That's the most of any player in Major League history.
Casper has 34 at-bats on the season.
One and one. And Wells gets it to the left side. So with 1 out, a walk and a single. And the Sox have 2 on with 1 out.
Okay, you're not going to see too many guys pull Herrera. That was on a breaking ball. He was out in front.
And 1 on Gillespie. Guthrie went 2 1/3. He gave up 6. Bruce Chen went 4 2/3 and gave up 3. And then Gutierrez pitched a scoreless 8th. One and one. Inside, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Ryan, today the Tigers designated reliever Jose Valverde for assignment. That means the Tigers, they got 10 days to trade or release him or put him on waivers. It means he's no longer on the 40-man roster.
And Joel earlier showed us the walk-off home run from Johnny Peralta last night against Andrew Bailey. And they have now, the Red Sox have now removed Andrew Bailey as their closer. There's a couple of first place teams in the American League who have some issues with the 9th inning.
That's right.
Right side, gets. Fires it over to Hosmer. That is the 2nd out. Dunn moves up to 3rd and Wells to 2nd.
That's good to see Royals fans come out in big numbers. Too bad it wasn't the kind of game that they were expecting, but at least they got a nice wave going here in the 9th inning. get up out of their seats, get a little bit of excitement going.
Almost 34,000 here tonight. Look out. Hit over off the netting in front of the Royals dugout. Here's the wave going clockwise. Viciedo has one of the 2 home runs for the White Sox. The White Sox hit 7 home runs against the Royals in the first 6 games between the 2 teams. 6 were solo. So they really didn't hurt the Royals that badly with the home run. But they've hit 2 tonight, and they've scored 5 of their 9 runs on those 2 home runs. Viciedo a 3-run home run in the 3rd, and De Aza a 2-run home run in the 6th. One and 2. Back just to our right. Tomorrow's an afternoon game. It's Wade Davis against Jose Quintana. So the Royals will get another left-hand pitcher tomorrow for the 1:10 game, and our coverage with Hy-Vee Royals Live begins at 12:30.
Viciedo, he's not going easy here. Rivera needs to break out that filthy changeup, throw it down and into him, see if he can handle that.
Got him with a breaking ball. Breaking ball that was up. Rivera strikes out 2. Royals coming up in the bottom of the 9th. It's 9-1 Chicago.
Cooper, his pitching coach, he's got to be thrilled, especially breaking out that unbelievable pitch he's using, that screwball. Robin Ventura may not look happy, but he is. There's Santiago's line. Hosmer got him for that 1 home run. That was it. Alcida been clean with no runs up given up, but Haas took care of that. 5 strikeouts. Royals couldn't figure him out.
So Addison Reed, we mentioned last inning, the White Sox have lost 3 in a row, 7 of 8. So Reed hasn't had a whole lot of work, and will come on in an 8-run game in the 9th inning tonight.
Yep, he's blown a couple saves. Nobody's perfect out there. Even the great Mariano Rivera, he's blown his share of saves already this year too. He was perfect for a while, but eventually they'll get you. Reed Addison has a 93 to 96 mile an hour fastball. Let's see that. Like to stay up underneath the baseball. He's got a nice slider. He'll cut his fastball at times, and he's got a changeup. Look at David Lowe, a nice 293 average. You know, those 11 RBIs may not look like they're much, but they have been big in certain opportunities that he's gotten them. Really helped his team.
0-2.
I know they got some decisions to make with Gerard Dyson coming back. You know, who's it going to be? Well, you can't keep 26. You can only keep 25 men on your roster. So they'll have a decision to make next week or so. So this might be an opportunity for Reed to maybe work on something that maybe otherwise he couldn't when it's a safe situation. You might want to come in and say, I'm going to work on my high fastballs here, and if they get me, great, but this is something I'm experimenting with. He wants this one down. Let's see if we can put it in the ground. He did.
We had Jeff Montgomery on with us, as we often do in the middle of the game, and Monty and Joel will be with you for Boulevard Royals Live after the game. But Monty, I asked him why closers struggle oftentimes in non-save situations where there isn't the normal pressure of getting the final 3 outs in a save situation as Lowe grounds out. And Monty said something very interesting, that there was a way that he pitched when the game was on the line. He had his way of setting up hitters. He had his normal pitching arsenal. But when you come in a game like this, it's almost like it's expected of you to just throw one strike after another. Hey, come on, just throw strikes. Let's just get out of here. Right. Well, as a result, you pitch different from your normal way of doing things. And the lack of intensity changes the way how you pitch to the lineup.
Absolutely.
And therefore, you're going to get knocked around from time to time.
That's right. Hopefully Eric can continue his hot night. Good level swing there on a high fastball.
On the ground to Gillespie. 2 down in the 9th. And now Kotaris will come to the plate with 2 outs in the 9th.
See, now we were talking about walks for a long time tonight because it's an interesting subject. Kotaris is a guy that probably walked his whole life. I mean, he's very patient. He's very selective. He's not going up there just swinging. Now he might in this situation, but.
And there was just a time, not to take any credit away from him, because he has had a good eye, a very good eye at times this year, but there was a time when the league just could not throw him a strike.
That's right.
1-1.
Salvador went on that week and a half, almost 2 week, where his grandma passed away. And what do they call that?
The bereavement list.
That's right, bereavement.
Center field, and De Aza is back, and that is the ball game. So the White Sox snapped their 3-game losing streak, and the Royals back home for a 5-game homestand. They lose game 1, 9-1. White Sox with a big game on offense with 2 home runs, 9 runs, 11 hits, and got a gem from their starting pitcher Hector Santiago, who went 8 and gave up 1 run, 3 hits. Let's take a look at tonight's Ford play of the game.
Okay, Hey, it's Santiago's game all the way. So why not make him our player of the game? He's outstanding. That little screwball. A lot of guys haven't seen pitches like that before because you don't see too many left-handers that turn that ball over. High fastballs were good. He was in the mid-90s. He was effectively wild. Only had one walk. Great job.
So coming up from Rivals, Joel and Monty with Boulevard Royals Live. White Sox win it tonight 9-1. We'll be right back.